Okay, so on the Halo series, Master Chief just lost his virginity, and fans are divided. Now, it's a pretty big departure from the Halo games where John 117 is depicted as an aesthetic superhero who only shows a sentimental attachment to his holographic companion Cortana, and has likely never had sex due to being kidnapped by a Spartan programmer as a child. The series hasn't exactly followed that path, of course, over season 1, with Pablo Schreiber's Master Chief frequently removing his helmet, which is another hot button for fans, and dealing with the surge of memories and emotions after encountering a Forerunner artifact. This is really getting far from what a lot of fans thought this series was going to be. I'm not an Xbox guy at all, so I haven't really paid attention to the series that much, but for fans who I know are watching, they hate it. And this is probably another hot button reason why they are hating it. Another thing I never understood is that I don't care about the sexual orientation. I don't care about the sexual identity. I don't care who or what these characters are having sex with. I've said on this show many times before, if it don't add to the story, then don't add it to the story. Why are we doing this for Master Chief? Do you all feel like this is making the show more compelling? Is it making Halo that much more of a relatable show? I don't know. What y'all think? Me, I really don't care. I'm not thinking about sex or anything sexual at all when it comes to these characters who I see and play with in video games and read in the pages of comics. I really could do without it. I don't care. But that's just my opinion. What do y'all think? Ladies and gentlemen, blurs and nerds, freaks and geeks, this is Do You Speak Geek?
DYSG, keep it real, that's key. We the best OGs, dope topics, come see. DYSG, keep it real, that's key. We the best OGs, dope topics, come see. I got a question, do you speak geek? New episodes on the podcast dropping each week. Get hip to the game, I'm giving y'all a sneak peek. Flavor for your ears, bars flowing on unique beats. Blurs and nerds, freaks and geeks. The source wall Wednesday dropping comics you should cop. I think you'd ought to peep. Don't sleep on Dono and Nix. They preaching the gospel, real ish ill like mono. They sick. Thumb life if you're into games with combos and kicks. This podcast is a gift. It's as real as it gets. Blurs taking over with clever marketing. We gain exposure, feeding the community magic. Your boy's a nerd promoter. The dialogue is Jimmy Crack Corn. We aiming for gold. The truth was told. I can't speak for other platforms. Sharp as cats out like knives, claws, and tack thorns. We blacking out, going crazy like a black storm. DYSG, don't forget to follow back. Hosting on the airwaves, always keeping it a stack. Flowers to my haters, psych. I ain't giving y'all jack. Number 1 on the charts, give your boy a gold plaque.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Nix back again. This is Do You Speak Geek, episode 117. Thank y'all for rocking with me, yo. Thank you for all the people who have been subscribing, who have been following along with the podcast. Thanks to everyone who has been rocking with me on social media, following YouTube. If you just vibe with DYSG, period, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all. Thanks to all the people who have listened to the last episode. And if you are new here, welcome to Do You Speak Geek. This is the podcast where we bring you all the latest and greatest news and reviews inside of the geek realm. Shout out to Spreaker, that's the home team. But wherever you get your podcasts, because we're pretty much everywhere, find Do You Speak Geek and hit that subscribe. For those of you who have been following along this week, we dropped a lot of new content. New content coming next week as well, too. footage this week from Tidewater Comic Con. We followed around Dono and the incomparable Violet Verse. This footage is so stinking cute, y'all. I'm telling you, you are going to enjoy this so much. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, don't forget October 1st, Buy Indie Comics Day, coming October 1st at the Slover Library right here in my neck of the woods, Norfolk, VA. Yes, sir. That's going to be going down at the Slover Library. So if you are an indie creator, if you write comics, draw for comics, you do inks, you do pencils, you do letters, whatever you do, please pull up, bring your issues, bring your book. It is going down. Buy Indie Comics Day, October 1st, 2022 at the Slover Library in Norfolk, VA. Also, I got something very special coming in June. It's kind of left of center of what we do here at DYSG, but I feel like it is needed. It is important. So, guys, keep your ears for that. It's gonna be special. I promise. DoYouSpeakGeek.com, the central hub for everything DYSG. We got the blogs, we got the merch, we got the everything. You know, the podcast there, the YouTube, the social media, everything is there. DoYouSpeakGeek.com. Check that out. And don't forget to follow us on social media: Facebook at DYSGFB, Twitter at DYSG_tweets, and Instagram, TikTok, and QuirkChat at DoYouSpeakGeek. Speaking of the YouTube channel, don't forget to hit that up. It's the only place where you can find the Dono and Daddy Show. Please be sure to subscribe, like, Hulk smash that bell for all notifications, and leave comments. We want to know what you guys think. Let's go ahead and hop right into these reviews and do what we do about this time. Y'all already know what it is. Let's speak geek.
Suit up.
I wanna be the very best.
Talk nerdy to me.
Are you ready? All right, people, and news and reviews. We got reviews coming at you at rapid fire. We have Firestarter. This one premiered in the movie theaters and also, I think, on Peacock. Despite solid performances from Zac Efron and Ryan Kiera Armstrong, Firestarter feels stifled in story and presentation. Over 4 decades have passed since the original Stephen King novel, so new ideas were needed to resuscitate this twisted tale and have it not feel undercooked, pun intended, or even less interesting than other stories that have copied it over the years. Even the carnage-filled climax, which should feel cathartic, plays out in a muffled fashion, but to each his own. Check that one out. The Sony WH-1000XM5 headphones. Y'all, these jokers are bad, I'm telling you. It's the biggest upgrade we've seen waiting for Sony's flagship wireless headphones thus far. The new design and AI makes the noise canceling stronger, while the ambient listening mode is splendidly natural. Audio quality is impeccable too, whether you want to listen to intricate classical music or a rocking action movie. These headphones can do it all. I might have to get a pair. You know what I mean? I might have to get a pair of these, for real. Salt and Sacrifice is an ambitious sequel that attempts to integrate Monster Hunter mechanics into an already crowded Metroidvanian Souls-like formula. It's not a great mix, but the strength of its core combat, customization, and a refreshing co-op makes it a little worth, at least worth a look. So check that out at least, you know? The Time Traveler's Wife Season 1. Overall, though, the entire situation between Henry and Claire feels arduous, and the way time-space has paired them together, especially on her end, is more of a bane than a boon. Season 1 out now, check it out. And finally, we have Top Gun Maverick. Maverick is back to his old tricks in Top Gun Maverick, which flies higher as a sequel that delivers spectacular action with an afterburner punch. Close to my chest, the 80s, man, close to my heart. So I'm definitely going to be seeing that in theaters when it hits. So please check that out. And let's go ahead and hop into my favorite portion of the show. Y'all know the vibes. Source Wall.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
Behold the source wall.
Can you read, my son?
Well, that depends.
There is nothing wrong with reading a story and looking at the pictures.
Enough said, Stan. Let's hop right into it. The pull list this week, we got X-Men Red #2. Who can tame the Red Planet? The mutants of Mars spent millennia worshipping war, and on what they now call Akakoa, they're keeping up their violent ways. Abigail Brand knows the Red Planet needs a firm ruler in charge. But Storm has other ideas, along with a broken Magneto in her corner, and Sunspot making his own moves. It's a new world, and someone has to claim it. If my girl Aurora Monroe don't do her thing, girl, better take over. You know what I mean? They need somebody to rule with an iron fist. But, you know, maybe she won't. Maybe she will, but if it was me,
I choose violence.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
That's the kind of vibe I'm on. Anyway, Immortal X-Men 2, Emergency Council Meeting. Magneto leaving the council means big shoes need to be filled. Selene demonstrating her foot size by crushing the whole island beneath it is unorthodox, yet compelling. Can the Quiet Council resist? Ooh, we don't know. We'll have to see for sure. King Spawn #10, the God Throne, the Dead Zones, and the Prophecy of King Spawn. While trying to save the world from the forces that seek to destroy it, has Spawn actually set the end times in motion himself? Probably, but we'll see. Iron Fist 3. Danny Rand's search continues, but he's about to realize that he is the only one hunting for the mysterious new Iron Fist. As demons stalk Kunlun, an ugly in history is dragged into the light, and the new Iron Fist will have to make a choice between his duty and his conscience. Let's see what gets chosen. Shadow War Zone #1, a special issue that showcases the spread and impact of the Shadow War on the DCU. Talia al Ghul has put out a hit on anyone who has ever worked with Deathstroke, and that includes Black Canary. Where has Luke Fox been? Talia is sick of watching from the sidelines and joins the battle herself. Also featuring the new villain Angel Breaker. What is her connection to Ghostmaker? Man, we're gonna find out for sure. This story here has been a trip. I can tell you that right now. Bolero 5. 20 years later, the fate of destruction is also the joy of rebirth. Beyond jealousy and desire, beyond hate and betrayal, the final choice. The end of the multiverse. The end of Bolero. Will you be okay? Probably not the way this series is going, man. Whew, sheesh. And finally, we have New Masters #4. The Outcasts believe they've gotten away with a priceless alien artifact known as the Eye of Kumona. Say that 5 times fast. But when Governor Tossin's elite strike team broads the Sankofa, the crew must call upon every ounce of cunning and skill they possess to make it out alive. Hopefully they can make it. Y'all can pick those up and other issues this Wednesday at your local comic book store. Now in Sourcewall news, Spider-Man is turning 60. Ooh, Spidey, you old man. And Marvel is revealing 2 major comics for Spidey's big anniversary. First, Marvel is paying tribute to Spidey's first adventure with Amazing Fantasy 1000. This oversized anthology issue features stories from both Marvel veterans like Dan Slott, Jonathan Hickman, and Rainbow Rowell, as well as newcomers like Veep, creator Armando Lancini, and novelist Anthony Falcone. Even the Sandman co-creator Neil Gaiman is returning to the Marvel Universe to pen a new story. Ooh, Neil Gaiman on Spider-Man, let's go. The stories in Amazing Fantasy 1000 won't necessarily focus on the beginnings of Spider-Man's superhero career. Marvel teases that Slott and Jimmy Chung's story will flash forward in time to explore the bond between Peter and Mary Jane, while Falcone and Michael Choi's story will introduce a new villain to Spidey's rogue gallery. In addition to this anniversary special, Marvel is also teasing the 3rd and final chapter in the multiverse epic that started with 2014 Spider-Verse crossover. Slott is returning for a series dubbed End of the Spider-Verse. Marvel has yet to reveal the series artists or how many tie-ins come involved. In the meantime, Marvel is setting up this crossover with a new volume of Edge of Spider-Verse. Much like the original 2014 series, which introduced multiversal heroes like Spider-Gwen, the new Edge of Spider-Verse will debut 5 more alternate universe versions of Spider-Man. Getting more spiders? Among them are Night Spider, a version of Black Cat who was bitten by a radioactive spider, and the kit-wearing Spider-Laird. The first 3 issues of Edge of Spider-Verse will ship in August, which could suggest End of Spider-Verse will launch as soon as September or October. Though the animated movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse will be delayed again, Marvel may opt to wait until 2023 to bring the Spider-Verse crashing down. So, Spidey's an old man, and it looks like we're finally gonna wrap up the Spider-Verse. I mean, it's been going on for a while now. I mean, hey, since 2014, we're just now gonna finally put this thing in the bed. We'll see what happens with these other stories, and hopefully they tie it up well, because we all know some series can start strong, but they don't end strong. So, we'll have to see there. All right, y'all, let's watch this.
Watch this, y'all.
Thunder!
Lannister always pays his debts.
Whoa, dude.
I am the villain of the story.
All right, and watch this. We have Avatar: The Way of Water. First teaser and trailer. Now, if you all went and saw Doctor Strange Part 2, Multiverse of Madness, you caught that new trailer for Avatar. The trailer opens on the familiar floating mountains of Pandora, following the Na'vi as they travel around the planet's azure blue seas and bioluminescent bays atop great winged banshees and enormous aquatic creatures to protect their home from impending danger. The Sully family is also ready for battle as Jake reminds Neytiri that their family is their fortress. Set more than a decade after the events of the first film, Jake and Neytiri now have 3 Na'vi children named Natim, Turkey, and Loak, as well as an adopted human son called Miles Sirocco, aka Spider, who they must fight to keep safe from the new threats that are encroaching on their world. Avatar: The Way of the Water stars Zoe Saldana, Sam Worthington, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Cliff Curtis, Joel David Moore, CCH Pounder, Eddie Falco, Jermaine Clement, Giovanna Ribisi, and Kate Winslet. So there's a good mix of franchise favorites and Na'vi newcomers, one of which is featured on a newly released poster for the upcoming sequel. Yo, I'm with it. Let's see what we got, man, because the Na'vi have been absent for a while. James Cameron has been threatening for so long to give us this movie, so we finally can see what he has, and hopefully if it does well, he will shut up about the superhero movies, because he's like the biggest enemy of these. He hates superhero movies. But if it does better, then we'll leave it alone. But if not, ooh, you gonna get clowned in them comments, Mr. Cameron. Anyway, that's all I got for Watch This. Let's go ahead and hop into Thumb Life.
Peace, love, and video games!
That sound like Donkey Kong!
Batman is playing Galaga.
Alright, gamers, in Thumb Life news, WWE has signed a deal to make an RPG. As revealed in WWE's latest earnings call, as reported by Eurogamer, Chief Brand Manager Stephanie McMahon said gaming was a priority for the company, as 80% of its audience are gamers, and it would be expanding the division with a new RPG. She only touched briefly on the game, simply saying WWE had, quote, recently signed a new deal in the role-playing game space that will be announcing soon, but spoke of it separately to the mainline WWE series, implying that the RPG will be something new entirely. McMahon was speaking amid a wider discussion of the company's video games, so this will presumably be a video game RPG rather than a tabletop RPG. Okay, WWE, we'll see what you do. I don't understand why they're getting into the video game market heavier than they already are. I mean, like I said, y'all really got to focus on your main product, and that is professional wrestling. But if they don't want to focus on that and do other things, I really don't know what to tell you, WWE. I mean, y'all thinking of all these other ways to make more money doing other things, but you don't want to focus on the horse that got you here. Anyway, I digress. I'll move on because that's. Whew. Anyway. Finally, we have Gotham Knights. PS4 and Xbox One versions have been canceled. When the game was first revealed back in 2020, it was set to include PS4 and Xbox One versions, but those have seemingly been canceled ahead of release. In an announcement about new gameplay trailer the other day, publisher Warner Bros. Interactive included a very short note about the last-gen versions of the game are no longer being released. No specific reason was given other than to say that it would provide players with the best possible gameplay experience. After a delay, the game will arrive on October 25th, PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC via Steam and Epic Game Store only. Well, there you have that. I mean, I see why, if I think about it, I mean, with them loading so much into this game as far as graphic wise and gameplay and really pushing the limits of what they can do with this game, you have to have hardware that can be comparable with it. And maybe the PS4 and the Xbox One just don't have what it takes to really produce this game. So if that's the case, then yeah, I understand. It just sucks for people out there who don't have PS5s and Xbox Series X's and PCs. I'm not one of those people. I'm sorry. I'll move on. Let's speak technical for a moment.
Technically speaking, your technological advancements 1.21 gigawatts.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
All right, now technically speaking, Apple is finally discontinuing the iPod Touch. I know a lot of you are saying like, what? They still make those? Yeah, they were anyway. The tech giant announced the iPod's discontinuation on its website, saying that the MP3 player is essentially redundant amid Apple's range of other products that are capable of playing music, including the iPhone, iPad, and HomePod Mini, to name a few. The iPod Touch will be available at several retailers as well as Apple's direct website while supplies last. Music has always been part of their core at Apple, and bringing it to hundreds of millions of users in a way iPod did not impact more than just the music industry. It also redefined how music is discovered, listened to, and shared. This is a quote from Apple's Senior VP of Worldwide Marketing, Greg Jaworski, said in a recent press release. The first iPod was released in October 2001 and has since gone on through 26 different iterations, with the most recent model, the 7th generation iPod Touch, released on May 28th in 2019. Man, I will have to agree with that. iPod really defined listening to music in a way that no other company has done. So shout out to the iPod, the end of the era. We will definitely miss you. And yeah, it is what it is, man. We got to move on to bigger and better things, right? All right, you nerds, let's mark out.
So what you gonna do? Goodbye and good night. Bang!
Okay, for some reason, Freddie Prinze Jr. is getting back into professional wrestling. Okay, the former WWE writer unpacked this during Wednesday's episode of his Wrestling with Freddie podcast, explaining that the idea came from making connections after helping a friend who at the time was with a promotion attempting to get a television deal. Wonder who that friend was. Following a positive meeting with the CW television network, he started putting ideas down for his own company before being encouraged to check out leading group GCW by WWE personality Sam Roberts. Prinze would ideally like to run a 2-hour television product featuring reality-based storylines. Additionally, equal time will be dedicated to men and women. He will be encouraging his wrestlers to join the Screen Actors Guild, a union giving them several benefits. Wow. So hey, any professional wrestlers out there who are kind of in between companies, you've been fired by WWE, AEW don't want you, you don't want to go to anywhere else because they're probably not paying as much. I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad look. I think when Freddie gets off the ground, you might have to give my man a call. Because, yeah, sounds pretty good to me. But we'll see what happens when he gets everything off the ground and rolling. I will definitely be checking it out. But for right now, I'm going to check out. I'm about to get on out of here. Thank you all for listening. Please be sure to listen to this podcast. Subscribe to this podcast. Let your boy know what you think about this podcast. Visit the website doyouspeakgeek.com. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and QuirkChat. Check out the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe to the videos there. As always, people, live to play to win to live. I speak geek. Do you speak geek?